There is a word for Straggies like this, cheating. So he tells me that we're cheating. This is the insult from my point of view because we do not elaborate the sound. Hello, back again. This is Edgar from Cremona, and today we go right into the questions of Q&A. This is a sparkling one. We start here when it was about cheap versus expensive violin, and here there was Luke 8857 who wrote, so you charge like 37,000 bucks for a violin that basically sounds like a $45 cheap Chinese violin, and you call it a master violin? Got it. For you, it's just like that, okay? I think it's the best to never go to a restaurant, just go to the, no, not even McDonald's, no. Just go to the gas station and grab the cheapest stuff you can eat. This is how you can eat, for instance. It's really fun, huh? If you read it like this, there wouldn't be even art, there wouldn't be anything. Everything is cheap, free, and everything which costs a little bit more is just crap. Chinese crap. I would say you should invest a little bit in a few more videos about what I'm doing. Okay, violins have never been crafted as well as they are right now. From my point of view, I think nowadays we're building up again the secret of violin making because the exchange of information is so quick that everybody has access to get good information like you at the moment. And you could also get more information by signing up to my Patreon channel. So if you have some question, I can just answer your questions personally once a month when we make the live Q&A. And it costs you €3 or €4 or US dollars per month. I almost would say yes. That doesn't mean that in 50 years ago there were not a few outstanding makers who reached a very high level. Yeah, but nowadays the level is very, very high and is getting higher and higher because we have the technology and the knowledge, the research, reliable research results, which make a huge difference. God Guns Guitar 123. I am subscribed. You make some of the best videos on YouTube and you are very informative. Eventually, after I retire and I'm getting there, I want to sign up for your classes. Awesome videos. Thank you very much. You make my day. This is what I want to hear. I'm very happy, of course, that you like it. And if you want to sign up to my Violin Making Academy, there you can buy everything or just sections of your interest if you just want to know how I do one thing or another. This is of course a good thing, and again the Patreon is very cheap and very informative. I have the Storm violin that you made 21 years ago. I love it. It has nice feature. Oh, so here somebody is happy with the master violin and others say that my violins are like a 45 US Chinese violin. Thank you for your feedback and thanks for sharing. So happy customers is always interesting. Dear Mr. Russ, do you agree Stradivari has used waterlogged timber and gemstone varnish as Novaros suggests, or no? Thank you for any thought, very curious. Well, Chris, put it down like this sounds really rough. But yes, I agree, but you have to see it a little bit in a different point of view. 300 years ago, they didn't have trucks. They just had horses and donkeys, and they went to the port of Venice, searched the trees, pulled them along the Po River all the way to Cremona. So because of transportation, that wood was waterlogged timber. Yeah, so it was not because that was now let's make a secret. It was just the way it is. And some violin makers I even heard like 15-20 years ago try to imitate the same way, and the wood was rotten in the river because you cannot just leave it there and then wait for 1 month and then you take it out and stuff like this. And of course the gemstone varnish sounds also really like, wow, we're making the varnish with diamonds. No, it's just amber, and yes, I use the amber in my garden at home. Neighbors close the windows. It's really smelly, and then I cook my linseed oil varnish with gemstone or with amber actually. Yes, so this is what I'm doing and this is my job. Next question here. I know you always have glued in your bass bar. Did you, of the old masters, ever use a solid bass bar carved in from the top plate. Very economic instruments do that have, yes, like this. I handcrafted my own violin fiddle and decided to carve my bass bar into the top place, partially thinking it would be stronger with 100% vibration, transferring into the top plate. I thank you for enjoying the videos, and I just wonder if you are aware if anyone else has done this and what you think. Yes, most manufactured German low-grade economic instruments, they just, when they carve inside the top, this is flat, right? So then they sign it with two knives, and then they carve like this, carve like that, and they just leave the bass bar. It's a very cheap way. Of course, the bass bar cannot be bad fitted. About the position, I don't know how good they are to fitting it in, leaving it in the right position. After all, it would a little bit low down on the G string side, and it's actually not a sign of a high level made instrument. It's well, it looks like apparently like a genius idea, but they made it already on mass production 150 years ago. What would happen if you add weight to the scroll or use weight using a carbon fiber neck? This is always a good point, and I think I'm going to make a video about it. Well, now this violin doesn't really sound that well, but that was already something which I was already thinking, that I will drill a hole through the scroll and then I will put in a metal weight and then we'll listen to it, because most people think that the scroll isn't influencing the sound, but that's not true. If you put away the scroll, and that was the reason why we cut it away, the scroll, it changes the sound and it's losing a little bit body of the sound. Of course, you need two ears to hear that, and if you don't want to listen, or your loudspeakers of your computer or your cell phone while you're somewhere in public transportation, then it's difficult to listen to it. With headphones, you should actually already hear the difference. But this is actually a good point. And the carbon fiber in the neck, this is something we have to go deeper. That's a good idea. I made it already, but I don't want to tell you today. We will make a video about it, okay? Blanco Verde sounded good to me. Did the player prefer it? Will there be a custom Edgar cast available for sale soon? Well, you could play the violin, but actually by playing it, you couldn't really say that this cutaway was now an advantage and a super comfortable. Actually, the cutaway, like on the guitar, on the violin, is not really a help, because in that area nobody is there free without anything. You need a little bit of touch for your hand, because just from nothing playing like this you cannot do it, and it was not a big help from that point of view. And sound wise, I doubt it's that good that we make an Edgar caster now. Okay, I have to be honest. Wow, I always wonder whether it would be possible to do a correct copy without having the original in your hands. Yes, it's possible, but a super good copy, it won't become a super good copy. It will be a copy of the picture of the original, but not a bench copy, and that's the point. And that's why it's called working bench. And the bench copy means the original is here and you build the copy, and then you get the best out of it. And you would say, yeah, you make a picture and you have everything. Even nowadays, from a picture, you make a copy, it's the copy of the picture. If you have the original next to you, it's completely different thing. The varnish, how the light comes, the arching, everything. It's just making a bench copy is very, very interesting. And I would love to have somebody who gives me his old antique instrument and says, Edgar, make me a bench copy, you know? Just a linguistic comment. You pronounce the word idle the way we actually pronounce the word idle. I've heard this in several of your videos and thought the correct meaning is generally understood. It would be better if you could pronounce it properly. Ideal. Ideal. It's ideal. Really. I made it already, but because of your comments that I pronounced the word precious correct, because previously I always said precious, right? Thanks to your help, I'm learning English here. Edgar, I like your videos, but I cannot believe that you have, by all you're doing, time for build the instruments. Damn. You're right. There is something true in this here, yeah? I have too many things at the same time, and then on Saturday and Sunday I'm super stressed. I need a whole week of work to recover from my weekend, because then I have my Vespa, my Cabrio, and then I have my Ciao, where I put it a little bit a bigger engine inside and things like this, but don't tell anybody, okay? Years ago I did nothing else than only violin making, and then I discovered going for a run, so I prepare for a half marathon. I just signed up for the half marathon in Berlin in March 2026. If you want to join me, start running. I'm glad I have a lot of people working with me, so sometimes I ask them help, but most of the time my own instruments, I make them. It's hard to believe. Maybe that's the reason why I don't build so many instruments. I don't reach 15 instruments. I would love to, but this year I'm a little bit late with everything. What happens to the sound if you apply casein glue to the plates from the inside? Damn boy, you are intelligent. I do that all the time. Buy one of my instruments and you will hear it right away. I've read studies about the effect of varnish on speed of sound and dampening, but none regarding the primers. Casein glue hardens the plate, which should increase speed of sound, but without adding too much mass, thus causing little damping of sound. Exactly, you name it, boy. It's also a very particular glue, very strong and easier to work with than hide glue. Maybe old fellas would use it now and then and maybe prime the wood with it. He knows everything. He did a very serious study about it. You're really good. We need someone like this in our Patreon here. Moreover, you can make paint to color the wood just by adding the coloring powder of choice. Maybe it was an old way of staining. Damn, he knows everything. Or did you use ChatGPT? We buy the casein already, made everything, and then we put some water and then we just make it with the calcium. This is a very good, that was 1 month ago. Arafa Imperigo did a very well research. Thank you for your input. This is really respect. Good, good. I can't find Violin Mechanics on YouTube anymore. That's a good question. I worked with him for 2 or 3 videos and then he disappeared. I think he was too good. And I think he even canceled all the videos. It doesn't exist anymore. It's really sad because he was really good. But first, the 2025 recording is much louder, and it is well known in psychoacoustics that louder means in audio tests almost always better sounding. Also, I'm sure you did some sound editing with compression and more reverb on the 2025 recording. No, this is something you cannot tell me this, because it's something, one of the few things I really pay a lot of attention. I have a super lousy microphone it was years ago and during COVID for 43 or 46 euro. And with this Rode microphone, we record those instruments. We have the microphone always out of the picture over the violin in the same position with the cable to the camera, same camera, all the same, and we do not do any sound reverb or anything. This reverb which you hear are our rooms, which are 4 meters and 30 centimeters high, which is like usually nowadays you build houses, you make it here 2 floors inside, and this might be the reverb you hear. There is a word for Stradivari like this, cheating. So he tells me that we're cheating. This is the insult from my point of view, because we do not elaborate the sound. And another testimonial that this is not the case is that since COVID, all the instruments which have been purchased via our homepage, people listen to it, compare the instruments, choose it, get it shipped, and most of the times they say that it's much better than expected and not a single instrument came back. I think this is a clear sign that I'm not cheating, and it's one of my super serious points where I always want to point out that I do everything, that the sound is just taken by the microphone and you hear it, okay? So we're not cheating. Please pay attention. This was the last question. If you have some more questions and some more technical questions and you want to get an answer, you have to subscribe to my Patreon channel, and there every month we make the live Q&A. You send me your questions and I will answer them in a live transmission. Ciao, ciao. Tell your friends and subscribe. At least subscribe. Come on, you owe me that. If you have a paying plan, that is even better, than I even get more. Thanks. Ciao.